So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be discussing the positives and negatives of the demo so far. So before I get into some detail, here is the settings I am playing on for those interested. 1-bar support. You're going to see that the game's a little bit scrappy, but it does make it more interesting. Turned off the auto sliding and obviously switched the free kicks to normal because reverse just really doesn't make sense. So we're playing Napoli against Juventus. I'm playing as Napoli, superstar, 10 minutes. Conditions for both sides are green, and we're going to get things underway. So this is a chance for you guys to let me know your positives, impressions and negatives in the comments. What I want you guys to do is basically write a list, pros and cons, leave them in the description. Let's get a nice list going, and maybe Konami will have a look at them and always tweak the game till the final build is released in a couple of months. There's still plenty of time for them to do so. Unlike FIFA, which is, going to be out in a couple of days in the US. So, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts. There's going to be pros, there's going to be some negatives. You may not agree with both of them, but that is the whole point. I'm just kind of making a list to try and make the ultimate football game. We know no game's going to be perfect. Of course, that's never going to happen, but you can always try. So, straight into the positives to start with, then we'll talk about some of the negatives. And I didn't want to say cons because, it's not really a con list. It's more of a what I'd like to see improvement-wise. So, starting off positively, the response times this year. Absolutely phenomenal. Straight up with FIFA, to be honest with you. No problems switching players. No problems turning. It's responsive. It's accurate. And it's what we should expect. We're playing on the PlayStation 4 now. Times have evolved, and it should no longer be an issue. So that is a positive straight off the bat. Next up, there's more ways this year to score than last year. Last year, literally, the only way you were going to score a goal is walk up to the goalie. He would just stay on his line and put it in the back of the net. Long-range shots never went in. You scored from headers every now and then. Maybe some free kicks. But apart from that, it was just, a simple finish from close range. There's Carlos Tevez. Goalie didn't move there. It was a decent strike by the Argentine. So more ways to score. I've already scored some headers. I've scored a couple from inside the box, on the edge of the box. Free kicks I haven't really scored, but, I've scored volleys. Lots and lots of variety. Hopefully, we're going to see a lot more as well. The player individuality. Never really been a problem, to be honest with you. With PES, even last year, it was still there. We saw elements of it with Robben, Ronaldo, Schweinsteiger, all the main kind of players, Ribéry as well. So that hasn't been an issue, and it continues to evolve every year. This year, Ronaldo runs more like himself, plays like himself. Ian Robben's running animation's a little bit off. I'm not sure why his arms are flapping around like he's trying to outrun some sort of a gorilla or something, and also the same with the likes of Toni Kroos. So maybe they can dumb down that animation a little bit, but he still runs predominantly with his left foot like he does in real life. Ronaldo will sort of run with the outside of his right foot and use his left foot as well. So player individuality, not a problem, and does continue to impress. And hopefully they will obviously continue to do more and more throughout the course of the year. Next up we have the graphics. We'll have to talk about them. We're on the PlayStation 4, so that is what I'm strictly talking about. I haven't played the PS3. I'm not really going to. I won't be playing it on PS3 this year. Probably more on PC, although it will be obviously running off the same kind of engine graphically, but the gameplay will be the same. So graphically on the PS4, no complaints. It runs well. It's lag-free. It's smooth. I'm not quite sure what the frame rate is. Even if it is 30 frames per second, you honestly can't tell. I think it may be 60. But it's finally lag-free. The replays are nice and smooth. Never said that in how many years. Should have put that away there. It was a poor finish. But, how many years on the PS3 with the laggy replays, the laggy cutscenes? Presentation at the beginning was laggy as well. So finally, Konami pulling their finger out and giving us a nice, smooth and FIFA-like experience. Next up, the AI intelligence. Definitely has taken a leap this year as well. And that's not just the CPU. I'm talking about the players on your team as well. No longer this year are the players standing around like statues. And probably one aspect that I would say is better than FIFA. Going forward, if you press L1, obviously, to do a quick 1-2, the players make some great runs forward. If you've seen the goal I scored with Lewandowski with Bayern Munich, the passing there, the movement, phenomenal. One touch, two touch, quick football, and it worked out wonders. They also don't just run offside like they did last year. Remember playing PES 2014, the players would just run in a straight line. There was no diagonal running, nothing. Run offside, and it was almost like the programming, it just wasn't there last year. The programmers obviously spent no time at all of tweaking the AI. But this year, I have to say, what I've played so far, looking better with the CPU and the movement of players. Okay, the goalies, kind of a double-edged sword this year. Nice finish there by Hamsik, and I love his celebration as well here as he sort of caresses his mohawk. Beautifully done. But a nice goal there. Chest control, turn, finish. Lovely jubbly. But the goalkeepers, as I was saying, they're a double-edged sword. They're going to be in the negatives and the positives, but we're talking about the positive sides of them. They come out more when the ball's played over the top. I've had a couple of games where the AI have tried to play that long ball over the top, and Manuel Neuer has just miles off his line, comes out and smashes it clear. Wouldn't have happened last year at all, so that's a good sign. They're pretty solid from long range. They've made some good saves there. They've made some good saves from mid-range as well. Chances like this, the goalies aren't going to save, so that's to be fully expected. A couple of people, have said that the goalies would parry them into the box with a few of the goals that I've said the goalies should do better. Yes, maybe, but still try and parry it more, outside of the goal than inside of the goal. It's fine to happen every now and then. I can accept that fact. Goalies do make mistakes, so at least, hopefully this year, they're not going to be superhuman like they were from long range. And I don't think they will be, because we've scored a couple of goals, and I've seen a couple of goals from outside the box. Okay, next up, the player models. I've said numerous times over the course of the months, and you guys are probably bored of me saying it now, but the player models are miles better than FIFA. They look spot on. They're not bodybuilders. They look like footballers. The faces are pretty good. They're not using the same technology as FIFA are, so you would expect FIFA's faces to be better. Some are, but still some on PES are better than FIFA's. They look good, accurate. They don't look as plasticky as they did last year. A lot more lifelike as well. So that is a good sign. You will see some scrappiness in this gameplay, so take that as a grain of salt, because this was my first game of the day and I am playing on 1-bar support. But 1-bar support this year is no way near as bad or hard as it was last year, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So player models, once again, a plus this year as well. The celebrations and interaction with fans. We've seen a couple of nice celebrations and the players interacting with the fans. That's nice, a nice added feature. The celebrations I still like more than FIFA's. FIFA's celebrations, there's no emotion. Yes, you can do your own user-created ones. That's all nice and dandy, but there seems to be no emotion on the players' faces. They just sort of score a goal and there's nothing there. On PES, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're happy, and I just think they work better. We'll have to see, though, if there's going to be more celebrations better if you score in the last minute of the game to the first minute. Maybe that will be something that's added or I haven't seen yet. But hopefully, obviously, you'd like to see them celebrate more if you score a winning goal in the 90th minute. The crowd noises as well. You can listen to the crowd. They get a lot more into the game, more involved when the ball gets into that final third. Fantastic. We haven't seen that for a while. You can see here Mertens, the crowd just going because obviously he's missed. It's off the post. So nice to see, and home advantage as well. The crowd seems to be a lot more involved and alert with obviously the home side than the away side. And probably the final pro that I have written down is just the animations from dribbling past players. There's more variety now. Players will skip around players. Shoulder barging is looking better. There still isn't enough animations, and we'll talk about that as well. But when it comes to getting past players, it's just a better experience. They're more lifelike. They'll skip around them. You don't have to necessarily do tricks this year to get around players. You can use pace or the player's attributes as well. So those are my positive impressions. Hopefully you guys agree. If you have more, let me know. But we'll move on to some of the improvements or negative ones I have seen from the demo. The first one is the ball. It's not moving enough for me. There's not enough variety. It seems to slip across the grass like it's on carpet, as I said in my initial impressions. It's almost glued to the ground sometimes, which it doesn't happen in the real world. With the ball these days, the way it's designed, it moves a lot more in the air. The physics of the ball could be slightly improved. FIFA does have probably better ball physics, so that is something that I would like to see him just tweak a little bit more as we come to the final release. The goalies, as I said, we'll talk about them. Not really coming out enough on one-on-one situations. They come out when the ball's over the top. They make fine saves from long distance, but they don't close the angle down when it's a one-on-one situation. So that's also something that they haven't really just fixed from last year. Last year it was the same, so they haven't really changed that, which is rather disappointing with the amount of time they have had to try and sort that out. The net physics, something that people care about or they don't care about. And I will be honest with you, I care about the net physics because this is 2014 now. This isn't 1999. The physics of the goal nets should be improved. And I wouldn't mind if they've had a little bit of an improvement, but they haven't changed the net physics at all, probably in the last 5, 6, 7 years. They're the same concrete physics, and it's not good enough. FIFA has finally sorted theirs out this year, and they look fantastic, and it makes the goals look better. You may not agree with me, but that is what I feel. When you smash one in off the bar from 25 yards and the ball just sort of bounces off the net, it doesn't look as good as when the net's moving, the goal's moving, and I would like to see them improve it. They're not going to be improved, but maybe next year they'll finally pull their finger out. The 1-bar support this year is not different to the 4-bar. I don't know if this is just something that's the demo, but 1-bar here, I wasn't having a major issue of keeping possession. I would have had a problem last year. The ball seems to be more on rails on 1-bar than it should be. There should be more freedom to be able to, if I press the X button to pass it, it shouldn't move nowhere near as much as it is. It's just automatically going to players' feet, and I would like to see a little bit more freedom there. The animations, they're still not up to par with FIFA. FIFA has an abundance of animations. I know EA's budget is way higher than Konami's. It's something we've got to live with. And with the new Fox engine, it's still not quite up there with the Ignite engine or whatever FIFA are using. Someone said that when players run into each other on PES, it doesn't look quite right. And that's true. They still need to kind of enhance that a little bit. So it would be nice to see a more bunch of variety of animations, but you know, maybe we'll have to wait over the years. Just as long as they keep improving them each year, I've got no problems with that as well. The replays looking rather lackluster this year. They're not really showing a whole lot. They show one replay and that's it, so there's not really a different point of angle. I'd like to see numerous sides of a replay, maybe one shown from the one side of the field and then another view from a player's perspective. I don't know, but mix it up a little bit. Something I like on FIFA is when a player scores a goal and it goes out for a throw or a goal kick or a corner, they go back, they show that goal. It's a nice added feel. It makes like you're watching a broadcast game. So the replays, I think, do need quite a little bit of work to make it feel more like a TV broadcast as well. And finally, really, the AI not closing down enough for me sometimes. I've outplayed the AI numerous times on possession stats, even with Athletic Bilbao against Real Madrid. I had about 60% possession with them against Real Madrid. That shouldn't happen. So I'm hoping that they do sort of fix that and sort it out and make the AI just a little bit harder now and then. You know, I would like to see a harder difficulty than Superstar. A real hard one. That's what she said. But a real hard, solid difficulty level that is gonna just annihilate me and is a real challenge. So those are basically my pros and cons, guys, of positives, negatives. Let me know in the comments yours. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. I always read the comments, so make sure you do submit them. And until next time, we'll be back with some more action. Take care.